Hi, welcome to the Body Mechanics inaugural stretch of the month. Now the stretch today that we're going to demonstrate is for the hip flexors, the muscles through the front of the hips. If you just point to your hip flexors there for us, James. Exactly, right in there. Now people nowadays tend to have very tight or over-dominant hip flexors due to the amount of sitting we do. So between sitting at work, sitting on the sofa, sitting in the bus, sitting in your car, most of our lives nowadays are spent in the seated position, and the hip flexors become dominant and overactive, and that can cause quite a few issues with both cycling and with running, so with running technique especially. So what we're going to do is get James just to drop into a really good pre-ride or pre-run hip flexor stretch position. This is a really good way of opening up, in this case, the right hip for James. So you get a little bit of a stretch on the left hamstring and groin muscle as well, but the main effect is being able to stretch that stretch out the front of the right hip. So if you just gently bounce up and down then for us, James. So if you're nice and warm, so if you've been for a bit of a run already, or you've at least been moving around for part of the day, this is a really good safe stretch to do. If you're first thing out of bed in the morning and feeling really cold and stiff, maybe just run a couple of K before you actually drop into this position for the stretch, or ride a couple of kilometres. And just swap sides for us here, please, James. So you can see there, James has got his alignment is his foot with his two hands beside it. His foot's not between his hands because that would block up the amount of movement available at the right hip, in this case the front one. So here he's stretching his left hip and just again gently bouncing up and down and doing not a bad job for a runner.